Okay, so before I sat down to record this, I kind of had this internal thought in my mind that kind of then formed into a question. So now I'm going to ask you: would you consider this a trial, or would it be more of a conversation? I was going to say between two people, but it's not two people. It is a person who can sneeze. Oh my gosh. And yes, I'm going to keep that in. Between a person and a computer. So I guess it wouldn't necessarily be conversation, but it's not a trial either. I mean, it is kind of a trial. I don't know. You let me know how you guys would frame this in the comment section below. But let's talk about this movie, shall we? What's up, guys? It's Daniel Strunk from QuickTime Reactions, and yes, very busy weekend. I just talked about Return to Silent Hill, which is a really good movie, and now let us talk about what is probably going to be the big movie that's coming out this weekend, Mercy, which I saw in 3D tonight. And I had a pretty fun time with this in 3D. This movie stars Chris Pratt, Rebecca Ferguson, Annabelle Wallis, Callie Reese, Chris Sullivan, as well as a couple of others in the cast as well. A detective on the LAPD named Chris Raven is charged with the murder of his own wife, but he is not brought before a human judge, a human jury, or anything like that. He's brought forth to an AI judge who now Chris Raven has to assert his innocence. Fall below a certain threshold and he'll live. If he stays above that threshold, after 90 minutes, he dies. So it's a race against the clock to try and figure out who really killed his wife. So, just off of concept alone, I immediately drew parallels to Minority Report. Now, for reference, I've not seen Minority Report, but I know of the general concept. Cop charged with crime, and cop tries to prove his innocence all throughout. Meanwhile, stuff goes on in the background. That's what I assume happens in Minority Report. And this, while giving off similar vibes, I think is completely different because of probably two big reasons. First off, the dialogue. It's most of the time person to computer. Sometimes you get person to person, like over a phone call or through videos in the evidence. But it's basically person and computer. And the way that you have to perform that and have that come across as like really good dialogue, it comes down to writing and performances. And Marco Van Bell was the one that wrote out the script for this movie, and I thought he did a pretty good job with it. Tackling some very interesting ideas. Once again, the topic of AI, ever present in our world, and I think he did a pretty good job of tackling the discussion points for this movie. And then you have the actors involved in this. Chris Pratt Rebecca Ferguson, two absolute legends of their craft. Chris Pratt, comedy side, Parks and Rec, Guardians of the Galaxy, so on and so forth. And Rebecca Ferguson, absolutely amazing dramatic actor. Saw her in the Mission Impossible movies, as well as in the Dune movies as well. She's been in a lot of stuff. And both play off each other very, very well in this movie. And the way that Ferguson plays the judge in this, I thought she did a really good job. Not to take anything away from Pratt as the cop, but I do think that Ferguson was really, really good in this. And then the second thing that kind of sets it apart for me, for Minority Report, is the way that it's shot. This movie was directed by, and I'm going to try and get this right, Timur Bekmambetov. I probably butchered that horribly, but I'm not going to try that again. So that's probably my one and only try that I'm going to try and pronounce that name. I thought he did a pretty good job at directing this, and it also kind of reminded me of a couple of other movies as well. Missing and Searching, where those movies were just essentially screen capture from like a laptop. Here we are given the whole story through scans of locations, videos taken by other people, phone calls, live feed from TVs, like, security cameras as well. Like, the way that the story unfolds is basically kind of through the all-seeing eye of technology, which is very much at the center of this story. And the way that they kind of deal with this, I thought was handled pretty well. Basically, as the world evolves and we become more dependent on tech, it's like we start to lose some of those things that make, us human. And Tron Ares last year talked about something very similar to this. Relatively similar, I should say. And in both of these movies, Tron Ares and with Mercy, it's like the computer starts to learn about human behavior. Like, Chris Raven is going off of a hunch and what his gut says. And the computer doesn't really understand that. But as it progresses, she does learn to go with her gut, even though a computer doesn't have a gut. Well, I mean, it has internal guts, shall we say, with the motherboard and stuff like that. But that's neither here nor there. So I think the way that they talk about it, the topics in this, I thought were handled pretty well. The music in this is really good as well. And when the name popped up, I was like, holy cow. It's Ramin Djawadi, the man that gave us the Game of Thrones theme, as well as the soundtrack for the very first Iron Man movie. I thought the score that he did for this was really, really good. And it was a really solid score that really kept up the tension all the way throughout the runtime of this movie. And with, again, the first movie had twists and turns. And when I say first movie, I mean the first movie that I saw today. The first movie that I saw today, so many twists and turns. This one had some twists and turns as well that I was not seeing. I did not see that coming at all. And it just kept on giving me all sorts of twists and turns that I was not expecting. And I feel like that they stuck the landing at the end, in my opinion. Is this going to be like, in everybody's top 10 at the end of the year? No, I don't think so. But I had a fun time watching it. Pretty good performances from the cast, solid writing, solid direction, very interesting direction to do lots of screen capture and stuff. Really good score. Yeah, I had a fun time watching this. So if you're not going to be snowed in and you want to go and check this one out, I recommend that you do so. And plus, it's just a little over 90 minutes, so you're not going to be wasting a whole lot of time if you go and watch this movie. But those are just my thoughts. What are your guys' thoughts on the movie? Let me know down in the comment section below. But yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it for this one, guys. Be safe out there, and if you are thinking about, doing something that's, not right, my suggestion is you don't, because of two things. One, it's wrong, so why on earth would you do it? And two, you don't know who's recording who. And so, your little misdeeds could be caught on camera and you could be caught. So just don't do anything bad, is what I'm saying. And I will catch you guys next time.